What up, everybody? What up, everybody? My apologies on the delay. Um, that was very weird. At like 12:58, which is 2 minutes before I was supposed to go live, um, my Wi-Fi just went out. It was very weird. My second monitor shut down. It was just really weird. I don't know what that was about. I don't know what that was about. But we're back up and running. Hopefully that does not happen in the middle of the live. Yeah, let's go ahead and hop right into this, man. It's been a couple of days. Hope everybody had a great break. I personally do not celebrate Christmas. So I've actually been doing research over the past couple of days. I've also been traveling. So I've been simultaneously doing multiple things, multitasking. But there's something I want to address. But before we do that, let me go ahead and get quite a few disclaimers out of the way. Shout out to my Patreon members. I do not shout you all out enough. I appreciate you all a lot more than you realize, a lot more than you understand. We are now at over 7,000 Patreon members, and before anybody feels like I'm getting rich, that's not the case. Only maybe 3% of those 7,000 people are actually paid members, but that's good enough for me. Like, that's the fact that so many people have joined makes my heart warm. And I just want to shout you all out because it means the world to me, because I do this full time now. And so any way that you all support me means a lot, which brings me to my next point. This may be my best brand design as of yet, allegedly, which is the allegedly hoodie. It just came in today and I'm very impressed with the material. Crazy, right? So I want to shout this out at the beginning. For those of you that have already ordered, a lot of you all have already ordered this hoodie. So let me know what you think about the quality. I'm very impressed. I'm very happy with it. I'm 6'3", 200 pounds. I'm slim fit, and a large fits me perfectly. For those of you that are wondering how to gauge what size to order, link is in the description to both my Patreon and my merch store if you all want to support. Now, I'm going to make this clear. This will be one video. I will be covering this in one video, and then we're going to get back to the evidence. Because of those of you that are saying, don't get distracted, Didi. Don't start attacking. Don't get caught up in the mix of all y'all content creators going at each other. I want to point out hypocrisy. I want to point out some weird things that I've noticed so that you all can be able to point it out and peep it out as well. And you all help me peep out certain things too. All right, so I want to make sure that I say the reason why I'm doing this. All right, so I'm going to do this in this live, and then we're going to get right back to it. Brian, the auditor, will officially be back on the channel tomorrow. We have quite a few things to break to you all, and I don't think I've let you all down yet whenever Brian has come on the channel. I think you all would agree with that. Brian will be back on tomorrow. It won't be a live, but it will be a pre-recorded video, and I do believe you all would appreciate some of the things that he has found. With some of these characters that are playing, that are involved in this Charlie Kirk incident, which brings me to my point. I want to mention the fact that it's come out that apparently the guy who took the SD card out of the camera that was behind Charlie Kirk, which I reserve to hold my position as to why I believe that is. It's highly suspicious, and I believe that if we was to see what that camera footage revealed, there's a very high chance that we see that Charlie Kirk either wasn't actually pow-powed, or what happened to him was a lot closer, and they don't want us to see that. That's what I believe is going on here. So I want to state that for the record. I think that's pretty obvious to me. If they present some evidence that proves the contrary, I'm willing to pivot. But until I see that, that's what I believe. I either believe he wasn't pow-powed that day, and I believe that camera footage directly behind him will prove that, or he actually was, but it was a lot closer, and is going to completely dismantle the Fed's case. That's what I believe is going on. But it's come out that the guy who took the SD card out, I guess apparently is actually related to one of the defense attorneys for Tyler Robinson. So I'm going to be looking into that tomorrow. I'm probably going to be dropping 2 videos tomorrow. That will not be a part of my Brian video tomorrow, Brian the auditor. Those will be 2 separate videos, but I'm just giving you all a heads up that I am working on other things, which, by the way, those of you that care about content outside of the Charlie Kirk case, I'm working on a pretty big video that I hope will be able to premiere by the end of next week, if not early the following week, right? I've just hired a researcher to help me with that video, so I'm working on that. I don't want to tell you what it's about just yet, but it's completely unrelated to this. It's also been brought to my attention that there's a high chance that one of the defense attorneys, I don't know if it's the same person that's related to the guy that took the SD card out. Apparently, this guy, one of the defense attorneys, was actually potentially present on the campus that day, which would be wild if that's the case, right? So stay tuned for that as well. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you all a heads up. There are other things that I'm looking at. I'm not getting distracted with these side quests, but this is kind of important. All right, is that everything? Brian, boom, boom, boom. Boom. I want to also let you all know. Well, first, let's go ahead and just pull this up. I want to pull up this image. Let's pull up this image. So 2 weeks ago, I posted this. Do you all remember this? Let me move this out the way for now. 2 weeks ago, I said, beware of some of these newer content creators who have seemingly come out of nowhere since the Charlie Kirk incident, claiming to be quote-unquote experts that the algorithm is appearing to support, despite their small channel size. Please pay close attention to the direction that they take many of you in, because there will be certain explanations to corruption that they will never mention or entertain. You then need to ask yourself, why? More to come in due time. We plan to expose all things on this channel. This is still up on my YouTube channel. The reason why I'm sharing this is because the things that I'm going to be saying today about Vahalla, VFT, I'm glad I've had more time to reflect, because I plan to come with a completely different, I originally planned to come with a completely different energy, which may still come out in this live, but I've simmered down just a little bit. But the reason why I say this is because whatever disagreements I or other people may have with Valhalla's approach over the past 3 days or so, he's not going to be the only one. There's a reason why I made this post 2 weeks ago. There's going to be a couple of other ones that I suspect will be doing the same thing. That's why I say just pay close attention, and me too, me included. Pay close attention to me and just pay attention to the direction I take you in, because there are certain things, like I said 2 weeks ago, that they will not entertain. That it's just what it is. And when I say small channels, some of these people have bigger channel sizes than I do. I don't mean it as a knock. What I mean is small channel sizes compared to some of these other people that are covering it. Obviously, Candace being the big dog, because she has a massive following. So I want to show the credibility here. Like I said this 2 weeks ago, that some of these directions that people are going to take us in, you got to pay close attention. And again, he's not the only one. There's a couple of more people. I also want to address people in my comment section saying, please stop with the division. Stop fighting. Listen, I get it. I understand you mean well. So I'm not saying this to attack you. I don't know these people, though. I'm not friends with these people. And I just want to give you all a little bit of insight. I've said this in another live, and I'm going to say it again. You all are the consumers, and I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean is, for those of you that are not content creators, you all don't understand what it's like with some of these people. A lot of these content creators are narcissists. It's just the truth. I'm not saying, and I mean that this is righteous anger or righteous frustration, right? Righteous judgment. Some of these people are very narcissistic. They act like they can only collab with certain people, and collab, I don't mean like put other people on their platform. What I mean is, if the goal is to get to the truth, then it doesn't matter who you work with to get there. It doesn't matter who helps get to the next level, right? It's a collaborative effort. But if you pay attention to some of these content creators, they're very specific. And the last thing I want to say before we get into the specificities about this content creator, the last thing I want to say is, by default, a lot of you all loved Charlie Kirk. A lot of you all love Charlie Kirk. And a lot of you all, because we're only human, subconsciously just automatically believe that a lot of these people are conservative if they're helping get to the quote-unquote truth. I want to remind a lot of you all that they're not. Just because some of these people have and I'm not even saying this about Vahalla in particular, even though I don't believe he's conservative. I could be wrong about that. I'm just saying, generally speaking, Just because someone is an expert in something and they're helping with this case does not mean that their politics align with Charlie. In fact, some of these people probably don't care one way or another what happened to Charlie, right? Some of this is about money. You're going to learn that. Some of this is about clout or attention. You're going to learn that. And you just decide that for yourself. And again, put me in that category as to if you believe that about me. I'm not excluded. I want you all to be able to see these things for what it is. All right. Some of these people are ultra progressive. Some of these people are, what do you call it? Libertarian, right? Which I'm not saying anything's wrong with being a libertarian. My point is, don't just assume that people are conservative just because they're helping with this. Because the moment that a person in the pursuit of truth speaks out against something that hurts their feelings, you'll see their true colors, which we're about to get into with this content creator. Oh, I said that would be all. Here's one last thing. For those of you that are saying, Didi, Jesus Christ is the most important thing, you're giving these other people like Candace Owens and others, Charlie Kirk, too much attention. Listen, I have no pushback to that. That's fair. Well, I have no pushback to the statement itself. This is all I would say. Please do not pretend like before 3 months ago, my channel was about breaking down scriptures. It wasn't. I'm not quite at the point where I'm comfortable enough to do that in public. My channel has been about exposing evil, which is why I've encouraged you all over and over, for selfish and unselfish reasons. Please check out my other content, because if you ask me, I believe we're going to get to the bottom of what happened that day, sooner or later, but eventually, one way or another. But whenever that happens and this dies out and fades away, I don't want you all to have to make a huge pivot into the other content. I want you all to be aware of the things that I've been doing. I've been making documentaries on this channel for 4 years. Now, enough about me. Enough about me. Please hit the like button on your way in. I have quite a bit of notes. That's why I'm looking down. Let me make sure I say that this episode is not about necessarily defending Candace Owens. Even though that will come up in this episode, Candace Owens can be critiqued. She is not above reproach. I will be critical of Candace at some point, I'm sure. This episode is not about defending Mitch, even though a little bit of that is going to come up to an extent in this episode as well. The purpose of this episode is the way in which you go about doing it. If you're trying to get to the bottom of this, it should come off as if you want truth. Not like you're conceited and it's about you and being full of yourself. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, for those of you that are saying he didn't attack Candace Owens. In my opinion, he did. In my opinion, he did. When you spend almost 6 hours drinking yourself to drunkenness, making demands. Who are you to make any demand to anybody? You have until Friday to disavow what? To end this, or I'm going to drop the bombshell. I'm going to go scorch earth. Bro, the arrogance in that statement. She or anybody else don't have any obligation to do anything you say. And then it's a very interesting thing for you to do that, because you know that she's on break. And for you to announce that you have information, you already know that you want to release it anyways. So when you know that you have the information already, and you know that you're demanding something from someone who may or may not see this video, and she's on Christmas break, you know there's a good chance that you're going to be forced to release this information. Information that has nothing to do with the claim that he made, by the way. I put up a quote, what was it, yesterday? The day before yesterday? I said I wasn't going to talk that loud, so let me bring this a little closer. I brought up a quote yesterday that said, when a crime is committed in hell, the witnesses will not be angels. That is to say, or at least I want to amend that a little bit and say, when a crime happens in hell, the witnesses will not be angels unless they're fallen angels. Shout out to one of the commenters, somebody that commented to say that there are fallen angels in hell. Fair enough. There will be fallen angels in hell. Fair enough. The point is, Even criminals witness crimes too. Even people who have done horrific things witness crimes too. You do know that police officers, a lot of their COs, their criminal or their undercover informants or the CIs are criminals. As a matter of fact, the best ones are criminals. The people that are the hardest to trust. But they're of that world. It doesn't mean that what they saw, stick to what he saw. Disprove that. And if the man may not have seen it, and I'm all for it if you're about exposing that he lied, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. But if you're pointing out his past, Brian Harpo, Valhalla VHT, from my understanding, I don't know you personally, brother, but I'm just not happy with this approach because there's hypocrisy. Brian Harpo, from my understanding, you have defended. Let's go to the things that he said himself about the past, right? Because based on your logic, if a person has lied about their history, we shouldn't trust them. Not that we should be careful about trusting them. We shouldn't trust them. Okay. Brian Harpo, a person you've defended, didn't he lie about the drones? Did he not lie about the drones? So that means he's lied about the past. That's a verifiable lie. We shouldn't trust him. Because let's really get down to what this is really about, what you're really upset about. Some people have argued that, hey, he's upset that Candace Owens didn't make him her personal security guard or security member because he's asked her. He's offered her that service, I believe, for free. People have said he's upset that she won't mention him or acknowledge him more. He's the top Green Beret on YouTube, so he feels that he should be acknowledged more. I don't know if that's true or not. People have a lot of you all have sent me some stuff that's come out, I guess, about his past. Maybe he's undercover. He's an undercover gay person. Maybe his wife used to be a stripper, which to his credit, he's addressed these things. He says that his wife was not a stripper. He says that his wife was some sort of oral technician, which sounds like a commendable job. But to the gay rumors, he actually doesn't really ever denies it. He just actually, quote unquote, sarcastically says that it may be true. But it doesn't hurt his feelings that people go after him. My response to that is, I don't care. I don't care. I don't think being homosexual makes you a bad person. But I do think it's hypocritical if a person is lying about their past or not being honest about their past, about their life, while also calling out another person. I don't know if that applies here. But I just want to acknowledge the fact that I've seen that a lot of you all have sent me that information. I think that's a low blow. I'm not going to go that angle. The brother has addressed it. Leave that where it is. Let's kick this off and we're going to tie this back to what Nate, I believe is his real name, from Valhalla VFT. Name is Nate. Let's go to something George Webb said. And this is what I'm going to tie this back to Nate by saying that it's all about delivery. And it's very interesting that it almost seemed coordinated that both of you are coming out around the same time. Right? If we're about truth, we're about truth.
Hello, everyone. George Webb, Franklin County Court. George Webb, Franklin County Court. Why is this so important in the Candace discussion? Why is Franklin County Court so important in this Candace discussion? Why is it so important with Mitch, the person who has 3 lawsuits involved in 2023, in May and June of 2023?
Which are lawsuits. We're about to get into some of the details, not a whole lot of it because I don't want to spend too much time on that, but we're going to get into some of the things that he's been accused of and what some of these people, not all of them, are refusing to talk about with these lawsuits, which, by the way, a lawsuit is a lawsuit. It's not a conviction. It doesn't mean you're necessarily guilty of something. It's a lawsuit. Anybody can pick up a lawsuit.
That's the hammer time. He goes hammer crazy. Ready? In June of 2023, why all of this happening at this courtroom? Why is this courtroom so important? Well, first of all, it's shoe leather. Getting out and getting to the court. Unfortunately, it's closed today. But if you look at the lawsuits that are filed in May of 2023 and June of 2023, you'll find a very interesting thing. You'll find the court awarding one of Mitch's ex-wives. This is the big whistleblower that Candace is putting so much stock in. Remember, we say, Candace, it's a federal informant. It's a federal informant. They're trying to get you off Doge. They're trying to get you off DuPont. given the last mafia ultimatum to Charlie before his murder. They don't want you to do the Doge audit. They're going to try to introduce a federal informant to get you thinking about something else. That's why we're in Franklin, because the federal folks introduced this federal informant, Mitch. But there's going to be 3 lawsuits that are going to be presented tonight. Alex Jones is going to present it. Laura Loomer is going to present it. Everybody's going to pile on Mitch, right?
Laura Loomer. Okay.
Everybody's going to say Mitch is a bad guy. Of course he's a bad guy. They wouldn't have put him in to the case to get Candace away from Doge and get Candace away from DuPont. They wouldn't have put him in if they didn't know he was a bad guy. They wouldn't have put him in if they didn't know these 3 lawsuits existed. They wouldn't have put him in if they didn't know the 3 lawsuits existed. The 3 lawsuits are going to show domestic violence. The 3 lawsuits are going to show the garnishment of $400,000, $415,000. They're going to show Mitch having $450,000 one day in the bank account and the next day having 0.
And I'm gonna give you what someone else, I don't know what's true, what someone else has said as a counter argument, because again, you're only hearing one side. Again, this isn't about defending Mitch. The dude may be a horrible person. I don't care to defend him. I don't know him. I don't care to be friends with him. If these things are about him, are true about his past, he's a horrible person. George, Nate, what about what he said, bro? He said he saw someone, which Candace Owens said in real time. She don't know if it's true or not. She says she can confirm based on metadata that he was where he said he was. I think that alone gets you in the door. She said she cannot confirm that. Then she asked him to give a percentage. And to Mitch's credit, who may be a horrible person, may have lied about his past, I don't know. But to his credit, he says on the episode, maybe I didn't see him. Maybe they had a, what do you call it? Not a stunt double. There's another name for it. Maybe they got another person that looked just like them. I don't know. Why do you keep talking about his past? Okay, great. And let me address this. When you say, well, if a person has lied about who they are, the things that they've experienced, shouldn't that mean you shouldn't trust what they're saying now? It means that you should be skeptical. It means that you should tread lightly, which you should do with everybody anyways, which, by the way, let me tell you where I agree with Valhalla. I agree that if you're raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for a person specifically for the reason of what he's been through, and it turns out that what he's been through is a lie, I agree with him there. Nate and I are on the same page there. But I'm not about to demand anything from Candace Owens like I'm above her. While in the same note, talking about how to treat women the right way, while also demanding that Candace do something for you because you said so. Talking about a man's past, which if he's done this, once again, I need to keep repeating this because somebody's going to clip this. If a man is guilty of that, that makes him a bad man, a bad husband, a bad father. I'm with you, 100% with you. But you can't sit up there and talk about that while sitting there with a person that's bragged about having 15 felonies. The irony. But we're going to get to those clips. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's see the nonsense that George is about to say, which, by the way, George was just on the podcast, had a great interaction with him, didn't realize until after he left that he's super pro-Israel. I didn't know that when he was here. I probably would have said had him on, but probably would have had a conversation with him about that to understand his angle there. And also don't support the fact that George is blocking a lot of people who disagree with him. I don't support that either, which Nate has also been doing that too, but we're going to get there.
They're going to show Mitch going nuts, going over in this town where he lives, going over and whacking his wife's door open with a hammer. That's what it's going to show. It's going to look really bad. Candace, here's your chance. Disavow Mitch now. Say, hey, I got fooled. George Webb got fooled way back when. Piketon with a federal informant. Now's your chance. Say, I got fooled. Federal informant. Has nothing to do with Doge. Has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk's death. Has nothing to do with DuPont. Here's your chance now to say, they fooled me. Okay, they fooled you. So what? We're going to go back to Doge. We're going to go back to DuPont. Forget this. Forget this. This doesn't matter.
Now, this is where I got the biggest issue. And I have to give credit to another YouTuber that I have not seen a lot of his content, but a lot of you all have sent me some of his stuff, and I just haven't had time to get to it. But I did see a clip of him saying this. A YouTuber by the name of Lionel Nation, I believe I'm saying it correctly. Forgive me if I am not. he made a great point. He said, if you listen to these people who are responding to Candace, which everybody has a right to question Candace. That's not my position, as if you don't. But at least make sense and be consistent here. Notice what they're saying. They're saying, stop looking over here. They're not saying, go look. If it's nothing over there, fine. There's nothing over there. Or look over there and look over here at the same time. That's not what's happening. People like George is saying, and Nate to an extent, stop looking over there altogether. Why? If she finds nothing, if it turns out that this man is lying, now to Nate's credit, when it comes to raising money for him and it turns out he's lying, that's different. But if you're someone like a George and Nate to an extent, why are you saying altogether, stop looking? What? Why? Why should I stop looking altogether? Let me look into this and see if there's nothing there. Because here's the biggest thing, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm so passionate right now. Don't forget, everybody, it hasn't been debunked. You're talking about the man's past. Great. Let's say he's the most horrible human being ever to live. What about what he said? Why have you not debunked that? Brian Harpo showing that he booked a plane ticket. It's not showing that he actually went to where the plane ticket was supposed to take him. It doesn't show that he was actually there. Again, we're going to get there because Candace Owens has responded on Instagram. I'm going to show you all that video clip as well. But Erica Kirk's alibi has yet to be proven or shown. Just easily show it. And this could be over. But instead, not saying that it's Nate, not saying that it's George, because I don't know if it applies to them. But you got people like Gary from Paramount Tactical, which we're going to get to that, secretly working with TPUSA. And they're failing in the process of debunking these things.
But the feds know what Mitch did. The feds know what happened in this courtroom. And you're going to see that tonight. All the Fed sloppers are going to be out tonight. All the Fed sloppers are going to be out. You're going to see Gary with Paramount. There's going to be some really great true believers that are getting sucked in here too. People who really care about our country, really fight for our country, which is Valhalla is going to get sucked into this. But you're going to have Laura Loomer. You're going to have everybody who, you know, did every kind of Fed op ever piling on Candace tonight. All Candace needs to do to avoid the pileup, just say, hey, Mitch was a Fed. Mitch was a Fed. I got fooled. We're moving on. So from Pasco, Washington, beautiful Pasco, Washington, beautiful Franklin County, you're going to see it all tonight. The lynching is going to happen. There's the jail right over there. The lynching, the electronic lynching of Candace Owens is going to happen tonight if she doesn't say this doesn't matter.
When I listened to this the first time, I said, the lynching, huh? Okay. Okay. Listen, man, in fair, let me say this first, George. It's a fair point to say that there's a chance that the feds could have sent this person to discredit Candace in her investigation. I agree with you. And if that is the case, I agree with you that Candace should come out, admit that, don't give them the money, and just keep on with the keep on. But the nerve of you to use the term electronic lynching when you know that you're referring to a so-called Black American, you people that hop in the comment section and say, Didi, don't make this about race. What are you talking about? I'm not even going to address that foolishness. That is the craziest thing to be saying, bro. There's a better term to be using than lynching. There will be no lynching taking place in 2025. You know that that's not the proper term to use. Were you trying to strike a nerve? Because it worked. Because it worked. That's not cool, bro. And according to some people, I don't know, and I'm not co-signing this. Some people have said that Valhalla, VFT used the same language. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. And I want to state this again for the record. The guy Mitch, I didn't enjoy listening to him on Candace's podcast. For the record, he was long-winded. He's not the best storyteller, but that doesn't mean that he's a liar. But George, if you want to speak and use language like that, you could have used that while you were speaking to me on my podcast, man. So let me tell you really why I believe that Valhalla in particular is upset. Because this is what it's really about. He's upset that anyone could even entertain the idea. So this is for those of you that are saying he didn't attack Candace. I believe that he was upset with Candace because of the clip I'm about to play for you. Because anybody could entertain the idea or the notion that someone in the military could collectively get together and conspire to commit a crime that results in the unaliving of an American citizen, let alone an American citizen on the level of a Charlie Kirk or who had the impact of a Charlie Kirk. Really, bro? That's your position? Now, I want to be clear, as if I'm not human. I get from your perspective because you served, and I appreciate your service, brother. I do. But for you to completely not even acknowledge or disregard, that's the word, to disregard the possibility, you lose credibility in the process. This is what he said.
Opportunity. And this is also why I took this story that Candace Owens put out so seriously. The idea that the U.S. military, not just the U.S. military, but service members, people serving this country, the type of person that signs up is willing to go to war, put their lives on risk. I had friends and teammates that did not come back from war. I had friends and teammates that came back dismembered from war. And so when I see a story come out that insinuates that those people, the people I served with, who signed up on the dotted line, willing to risk their lives, give their lives, sacrifice, deploy for 6 to 9 months at a time, be away from their wives, their children, their husband, the insinuation that those people would be willing to assassinate at a unit level, an organizational level, would be willing to plan, operate, and assassinate an American citizen, an American patriot like Charlie Kirk is absolutely disgusting, and it's spitting in the fucking face of every veteran, every soldier that came before me, and my dead fucking friends and teammates, that insinuation. And that's why I took this, sorry, I'm ranting a little bit here. That's why I took this entire thing so fucking personally, as did all the veterans, because it's absolutely a fucking disgusting accusation to begin with. So anyway, that got a little long-winded, but, and if you think Preaching Nate is annoying, then guess what? You are the first and only person that's gonna get banned. That's it. That's how it goes. We do maybe one every 2 or 3 weeks. Now you're fucking done. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. So yes, I will support the U.S. military. I'll support your sons and daughters joining. If you don't like it, fucking leave. Get the fuck out. Go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. But anyway, a little bit of rant.
And boom, there you have it. There you have it. So here's my question to Nate. I support the military. I support the idea of the military. But to pretend as if corruption, newsflash, corruption happens everywhere on all levels. In the service industry, right? In the dancing industry, in the sports industry, in the entire entertainment industry, there's corruption everywhere. Why does being a part of the military make you exempt somehow? No. Nate, I have a question to you directly if you see this clip, and something tells me you will. Do you know every single person in the military? Of course not. Did you serve with every single person in the military? Of course not. I hate to hear that, and I send my condolences to what happened to your friends who served, man. But to pretend like the investigation here is specifically referring to your friends is disingenuous and just it's dishonest, bro. And honestly, to me, it comes off like a straw man. That's what this is really about. You can defend Brian Harpo, who is a proven, verifiable liar, but that's all right. While also going for Mitch's background, which, by the way, let's get into Mitch's background. Let's just pull up a little bit as you sit there with that person who allegedly has multiple felonies that he's bragged about, talking about another person who has felonies, or has lawsuits. I don't even know if the man has been convicted of these crimes. But let's go to, this is Benton County. It says Mitch Snow, a father's, let me make sure you all can see this. Mitch Snow, a father's defiant stand against corruption, a corrupt system exploiting our children. Let me make sure that I say for the record, all the purpose of me showing you all this is to show you that there's another side. There's another argument. Not that this is facts, not that this is true. I don't know. That's the whole purpose of an investigation and due process. I don't know. But it's a bit disingenuous, which I'm going to get to this a little bit after this article, to just simply virtue signal by saying any man that hits on a woman, yeah, man, we all agree with you, brother. But we also know that women lie. We know that men lie and women lie. Don't pretend like just because you see that it's a possibility, it automatically means it happened. That virtue signaling is just as disgusting to me. It says here, in a shadowy underbelly of Benton County, Washington, rumors cast a disabled Special Forces veteran as a menacing specter, a rogue assassin commanding a secret network of lethal operatives, right? Branded a mastermind of unaliving and mayhem, he's accused of orchestrating death threats against judges, prosecutors, and his ex-wife in a chilling plot to dominate his divorce proceedings that have been now ongoing for 9 years. Sensational court claims depict him as a cold-blooded conspirator wielding his military past to terrorize the innocent with imaginary biker gangs and undocumented assassins at his beck and call, ready to strike from the shadows. Let me jump down here a little bit. This is the story of Mitchell Snow, a father whose fight to save his son Nathan, the irony there, has exposed a grotesque network of corruption that thrives on the exploitation of our most vulnerable. It says a father's ordeal against a corrupt cabal. Mitchell Snow's saga began with a divorce filing to protect Nathan from, is it Laney? Laney Snow, cousin to a former Kennewick Mayor Don Britton. What should have been a swift intervention to safeguard a child spiraled into a decade of massive misconduct, as an anonymous whistleblower attests, blatantly obvious for any trained investigator to discover. The evidence is staggering. Again, I don't co-sign this. I'm just reading you all that there's an opposing side, which makes it an investigation. Depraved abuse. Laney starved Nathan since birth, leaving him emaciated with life-threatening cardiac issues by 2023, requiring compression garments to survive. She drugged him with cough syrup, melatonin, and sleeping pills, caused genital yeast infections through inappropriate contact 4 times daily for 7 years, and slept naked in his bed, claiming it loving, trusting, and consensual. Dr. Lane diagnosed SA and trauma confirmed by Dr. Catalano, Seattle's Children's, who debunked Laney's condition excuse. Laney's intent was to frame Mitchell for child SA, manipulating medical reports to shift blame, yet records confirm infections only occurred in her custody. Laney hired 14 third parties to stalk, harass, attack, vandalize, and attempt to unalive Mitchell and Nathan. Oh, wow. Including 3 assaults in Richland Police's parking lot and 5 swatting incidents to provoke police into unaliving Mitchell. She admitted to holding a revolver to the head and using dogs to quote-unquote punish Nathan for asking for food. Theft and bribery. Laney stole $500,000 from Mitchell's savings and 401k, bribing judges Jackie Shea Brown, Joe Burrows, Alex Estrom, Cameron Mitchell, Jackie Stamm, and Commissioner Andrew Howell, alongside prosecutors, deputies, and attorneys to secure her immunity. She confessed to delivering funds to Burrows' chambers with no record of the money leaving, and boasted of theft, fraud, and intent to harm without fear of prosecution. Laney accused Mitchell of 50 capital crimes. Her self-incriminating admissions contrast starkly with the absence of any tangible evidence against Mitchell in 10 years, as conspirators recycle each other's baseless allegations as proof. Let me say once again, I don't know if any of what I just read is true or not. I don't know. The purpose of that is to show you that there is an other side. All right. Another thing that was a turnoff is the way in which Valhalla titled his video. It came off as possessive. The Fort Huachuca story is over. Is how he titled his video. What are you talking about over? Who gets to decide that? Oh, if it's about the military, that's what you mean. If it's about the military, stop looking into that. Stop entertaining that. Okay. I see what you're saying. Have you disproven what the man said? If you have, I'm with you. I'm on the side of the truth, brother. But simply just saying, if it has to do with the military, stop entertaining that. It's not even possible for it to be true. What? Attacking fans that disagree with you and calling all of them abusers because they disagree doesn't help.
The only people saying this are abusers themselves.
Oh.
I want you to look for every comment, every single person you see commenting this. These are abusers. These are abusers right here.
I'm not an abuser, and I disagree with you.
This abuser. Robert, that's an abuser. And that's why they don't think this is a big deal. I do. Let me be very clear. This is the only episode I'm doing on this. This will be a one and done. I will show you enough to know everything you need to know about this man. I've been asked to come on a bunch of big channels. Alex Jones wanted to have me on today. I said, I'm not coming on today. I need to do this episode. I'm not going to go on anybody's channels. And you know why? Because I don't want this to be about me. I'm not trying to build notoriety. I'm not trying to build the story. I'm not trying to make it about me. I'll tell you, and all the men in this chat will tell you.
Shout out to Project Constitution. Project Constitution is where I got this clip from. Let me just say that, Nate, if you haven't been able to pick this up yet, we're just trying to get to what truly happened that day. And I'm willing to, even if it means disagreeing with Candace, entertain the idea and the possibility that Charlie Kirk is alive. I've been saying it for 2.5 months, and I'm sticking with it until I see absolute proof or no absolute proof or have reason to believe otherwise. When you're making statements like you turn down these podcasts, and it just buys into what I'm saying about some of these content creators, bro. It is about that. When you're doing 6-hour lives, I'm not knocking content creators who want to go live that long. God bless you. I'm just saying I can't do it. That's way too much time for me. My voice will go hoarse, and I got other things to do as well. But it almost comes off to some people like it's about the money, bro. When, an hour or two of your, sometimes even 30 minutes is really about the investigation itself. And a lot of that time is really responding to super chats. That's how a lot of people are feeling about it. Right. And I'm going to just say, give a pushback to some of the consumers too. If you all are about truth, man, you can't be 90%, 95% of you can't be in the comment section calling out people when they pivot, which I'm proud of. But then the next live, 10,000 of you are watching their content. It's not showing that person or that content creator that you're not going to settle for BS. The power is in the people. And that applies to me as well. When I pivot, or if I was to ever pivot and start feeding y'all nonsense that don't make sense, call me out on it. Right? So, let's see. Another great question that I have for a lot of people, and I wonder if you all have thought about this. Why so much attention on Mitch? What I mean by that is, okay, let's say that Mitch is full of BS, right? Let's say that he's full of BS. Okay, so what? Why is it, and let me get this off the screen. Why is it, because I don't see any of these people asking this question. You can spend so much time trying to disavow Candace from going to this angle. Why do we have so many? This is the question we should be asking. Why do we have more information about this person, Mitch Snow, about his past, about his history, where he was and what he did, than we do about Tyler Robinson and Lance combined? Does no one find that weird? Does no one find that weird? Right? Why are we not asking those questions? We're digging into Mitchell Snow's backstory. Let's try to find out about Tyler. Let's try to find out about the people that was there. Right? And I also just want to state for the record, it doesn't help when the name of the channel, where is that even at? Do I even have that? It doesn't help when the name of the channel is Valhalla. And we all remember when Cash Patel got up there and said that it took them 33 hours to find Tyler Robinson, which was a very specific number that stood out to most of us the moment he said it. And then he said that Charlie Kirk, I'll see you in Valhalla. Many of us was like, you'll see him where? So this is just a message to Nate, bro. Like, I hear you say that you support Candace and you with her and all this and the third, but it's giving people other vibes. That's all. It's just giving people other vibes. And it just makes us believe, which is why it's relevant for me to make an entire video about it. It just makes us believe who all is a part of the PSYOP, right? Who all is a part of the PSYOP, especially when your last live was 3 hours, 33 minutes, and 30 seconds. I'm just saying, bro, just, you know what I mean? I'm not making any claims here, but I'm sure how you can understand how that can come off a certain way, you know? Especially when this person is believed to be a Freemason. That's all. That's all. You know? So let me get to the next video clip. I want to show you all something. So Candace Owens responded to a couple of things. And let me see if I can find the clip of, here it is. Check this clip out right here. This is the guy Gary from Paramount Tactical, and I want you all to take a listen to what he said.
In his chat, when he was even going over the Fort Huachuca thing to begin with, like a week and a half ago or whatever it was, he's seeing the same exact, he's experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing. And that is, as soon as you go off script, and the script consists of anything except for the official narrative, like they come after you in ways like there's guys trying to say, oh, look, we're going to do a background check on you. Like, search away, dude.
Hold on. But that doesn't make sense though, bro. Like what? The official narrative is that Tyler Robinson, pow, Charlie Kirk. What are you talking about? That's the official narrative, bro. We don't believe that. You do. Gary, you do. From my understanding, you are against those of us that are entertaining all of these other possibilities. Am I wrong? So when you say that Nate from Valhalla is going off script, or he is not entertaining the official narrative, what? Credit to Nate. He is questioning the official narrative. His classic 30-6 video that went viral, right? So what official narrative are you talking about?
I've had top secret clearances and other jobs. Like, I'm clean. I don't search your little hearts out. I don't take any money. I don't do anything like that. Like, I am not influenceable. All right, I'm not. Period. All right. Unless you had my kids. The only time that I would get up here is if somebody had my family and was like, if you don't say this, we're going to do something to your family because we have them in custody.
Interesting. He said that he's not influenceable. I don't know if that's a word, but I like the word. He says that he's not influenceable, but then he proceeds to share some things, some text messages from a certain organization later in this clip that shows that, okay, maybe you're not influenceable, but you're definitely getting information from other people.
All right. That's probably the only way that you could get me to say something I don't believe. And that's the God's honest truth. So Nate is going off script here. He's going against the Candace crowd, and they're coming after him. And, you know, he and I have even talked about it. He's like, this is crazy. I was like, Nate, I've been dealing with this stuff for 3 months.
The fact that y'all are even friends is a red flag to me. I'm not saying that you have to be friends with people that you only agree with. No, that's not my position. My position is that Paramount Tactical has been going against the grain from the jump. And there's nothing wrong with going against the grain, but only if it makes sense. he won't even question the same red flags that we're questioning. Are you trying to get the truth or not, or are you trying to throw us off?
The moment I said anything about it, like, there was no official narrative. I just said that the palm gun was bullshit. And they were like, you're a Fed, you're paid by Israel. Like, what? What does that have to do with anything? That's when I knew it was all a scam. This whole thing is a scam. This whole thing is a psyop. It's real, folks. We are being psyoped. This is coordinated. This is sophisticated. Wake the F up. You are being played.
By who?
And Candace is just at the centerpiece of it.
I'm open to entertain that, though, Gary. In all seriousness, in all honesty, I'm open to entertaining that possibility. But I need some convincing and compelling information to go along with that. When you say that, like when you say it's so vague, you're being played by who? What do you mean? Like, are you saying that Charlie was actually hit and it was by Tyler, and they wanted to think that it wasn't? What reason would the powers that be, the deep state, the government, the military, whoever? What reason would they have to want us to believe that someone else other than Tyler did it? Or what reason would they want us to believe that Tyler did it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not following it. That doesn't make sense.
All right. Hopefully.
Now he's about to read text messages from Andrew COVID. He's about to read text messages from Andrew COVID that he wasn't supposed to read. And let's take a listen to what Andrew COVID was telling him live. I think he was sent to Andrew COVID was texting him live during this live stream. Let's see what Andrew COVID told him to say.
Just so you guys can see what's going on, just so I can see what's going on here, because that screen's small for me. But I asked him, hey, do you have proof of this? He says, but it's worth saying Erica wasn't in some fort in Tucson. The internet's gone insane. She woke up next to Charlie on the 9th, went to the office with Charlie all day, woke him up from a nap before a fox hit, went to dinner with Charlie. Literally, people are lunatics. And then the next one, I will show you guys that one, the continuation of this. Right here we have this one, and then I'll show you an up-close picture with the metadata that we have on the screen itself. Proof, she was with her kids at 8:33 a.m. Pacific time, which again, in September, Arizona's on Pacific time.
Let me just state for the record, for those of you that haven't thought about this, this is supposedly a picture that Erica Kirk sent to Andrew COVID. I don't know if Andrew COVID, which you're going to hear Candace say this earlier, and I don't 100% agree with Candace that Erica Kirk was. I don't believe this is proven that Erica Kirk was telling Andrew COVID to send this to Gary from Paramount Tactical, but that wouldn't be far-fetched to believe at all, because Gary has been featured on Turning Point USA's Charlie Kirk show. So we know that they're in cahoots with each other. But this is a picture that Erica Kirk sent. There's a couple of interesting questions I have about this picture that I'm going to point out, and I'm curious to hear what you all think. But the first thing is, just because someone sent you, Gary, just because someone sent you some metadata from this photo does not mean that it was Erica's metadata. That could have been the babysitter's metadata that was with the kids. Because as we know, she's been grieving so much that we've seen all these fireworks, and she's been on tour, but she's grieving. Okay.
Pacific time. Taking them for a walk. Apparently I wasn't supposed to share that. But anyways, point being is that's 8:33 a.m. It shows the date on that. Sorry, Andrew. I screwed that up, man. I was trying to run a podcast and do everything else. But
hey, the text message says don't share. Let me make this bigger. It says don't share. Oh boy. Well, I actually have a question about this picture. So Erica Kirk is obviously strategically covering the faces of her children, which her and Charlie did quite a few, throughout their marriage. They covered the faces, which some of us are a little bit more skeptical about it than others. Some people say, well, a lot of parents do that, especially if you're a very polarizing figure like Charlie Kirk. I get it. I understand it. It just don't help some of the conspiracy theories, if you will. It doesn't help some of the actual theories that aren't conspiracies, if you follow my drift, right? Here's a question that I do have, though. So where is that picture at that I have? I have a picture. So this is Erica Kirk. This is a post on Instagram that she made. It says, "I am not just your mother. I'm your first intercessor. I raised you to stand when it's lonely, to carry weight when the world tells you to run." Now, I'm not here, obviously, to attack any children. I would never do that. But I do have a question. How do you go? Because this post was made. Let me move this banner out the way so you all can see it. On September the 3rd. Now, I believe this is September the 3rd from this year. But even if you all want to argue that it's September the 3rd from 2024, supposedly, let me make sure I pull this up and I get this right. This baby was born, the boy was supposedly born May 14, 2024, if I remember correctly. So even if it was 2024, giving them the benefit of the doubt, that would make this baby 4 months old, which means that this baby would be walking in 4 months, which would make it almost a miracle. So let's say that it's not 2024, and this picture is actually from September the 3rd, 2025, which is essentially what? A week before everything happened with Charlie, right? How did that baby go from that size to this?
Again, it's
Let me go back so you can see it. That's a big old boy. Am I tripping? And I do want to be honest here. I am open to the idea that there's a logical explanation to this. I don't mean to say this as a gotcha, but that seems to be a huge jump. Because either that boy was walking in 4 months, or that picture is that original picture I just showed you right here is from this year. And he went from that
again, it's
to this, which you don't see his face, obviously, but you can see the body. That's very interesting. But anyways, Candace Owens responded. Let's see what Candace had to say because she saw this as well. Oh, wrong one. She responded on Instagram. This is what Candace had to say.
Okay, I just have to jump on here to let you guys know that Andrew Colvett, the spokesperson for Turning Point USA, just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, trying to help orchestrate behind the scenes an alibi for Erica Kirk in Fort Huachuca. Now, why is this crazy? For those of you that don't know the backstory here, essentially, this guy, Mitch, it was very compelling, said that he saw Brian Harpole leaving this meeting at Fort Huachuca on September 9th. Now, I wanted to give him the platform after I verified where he was to tell his story, but he also had to include the part where he claims that he saw Erica Kirk the night before, also on Fort Huachuca at Candlewood Inn and Suites, okay? Now, truthfully, I put it at 50-50 because, like I said on my show, I believe that he was at this meeting was significant and that it concluded. I felt really strongly that he saw Brian Harpole. But what's his memory like? Are you good at remembering faces? Did you just see another blonde and think that it was Erica Kirk? Genuinely, I thought it was at like 50-50 until tonight, where all of a sudden there were all these attacks regarding Fort Huachuca. We didn't really know where they were coming from. You got people calling me insane. Alex Jones jumps into the foray. I'm like, what is happening right now? Why does Fort Huachuca have so many people triggered? Well, there were these YouTubers, Paramount Tactical is one of them, who was basically teasing, like, we're going to take down Mitch and show you guys that he's not a credible witness by going back and going through the files of his marriages and ex-relationships and to show you that he's an abuser. And this is going to be the end of Candace Owens' career, like totally weird and distracting. Like, I never told my followers that they should go marry Mitch. I have no idea what he was doing 20 years ago in a relationship. There were no convictions against him that I could find, whatever. The point is like, we didn't know where this was coming from. Everyone was like, money must have just gone out. Like, what is happening? Well, tonight was when they did their live to expose me and accidentally exposed Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk. Now, I'm going to show you the messages. Andrew Colvett was apparently live texting this guy Erica's alibi. Now, this means Erica is sending her alibi. Why wouldn't you just send it to me? Obviously, I didn't have a horse in the race of whether or not he saw you at the hotel You could have just been like, here's where I was on September 8th. And this whole idea of you even being there would have gone away. Instead, she sends it to Andrew Colvett to send to these obscure YouTubers who are live, and it didn't click with them that Andrew Colvett did not want them to say that he was their source. So this guy just starts live reading the messages that are coming in from Andrew Colvett, where he proceeds to give an alibi that no one asked for. He's like, this is what Erica was doing on September 9th. Okay.
Which is very similar to what Erica Kirk did when she said, I've never been on any Egyptian planes. I was pregnant. That's a straw man. You're doing the same thing that Andrew Colvett did here. No one said that, Erica. She didn't say that you were on the Egyptian planes. She said that the Egyptian planes have been following you and Charlie Kirk an unprecedented amount of times over the past, 4 years or something crazy. So don't misrepresent the position or the argument to then debunk something that no one ever said.
The guy said he saw her on the 8th. It's kind of like the Brian Harpole, where they're just like giving us alibis for times that we're not talking about. Again, I wasn't even necessarily pressuring them for an alibi, but he then proceeds to walk him through what Erica was doing on September 9th, and he's pretending like she doesn't even know what Fort Huachuca was, even though her mother has a contract with the Department of Defense and would have obviously had to have been familiar with Fort Huachuca, which is in her backyard, and in Turning Point USA's backyard as well. Again, I would like to point out that no one said Erica was in some fort, no one said she was in Tucson, and no one said that they saw her on September 9th anywhere. So I don't know what this is. It's just weird. It's a totally strange thing to say. Again, when you have an easy pathway to just reach out to me and say, hey, I saw you mention something on September 8th. Here's where Erica was.
Right.
Notice that's Erica's hand. So that means Erica, the CEO of Turning Point USA, is directing the spokesperson of Turning Point USA, Andrew Colvett, to send her alibi to Paramount Tactical as he is going into the history of Mitch and supposed to be exposing Mitch for being a serial abuser, but actually exposes Turning Point USA. You just cannot make this up. This is like a PR nightmare, a crisis. Is this just a crisis? Wait, I'm going to show you another message from Andrew, being super discreet here. Look, I'm just saying the TikTokers are going to have a field day. Okay, Bibi Netanyahu has not gotten these TikTokers out of control. They already are not feeling the vibes about Erica. Now you got this directing behind the scenes attacks on really Candace for whatever reason, but sending them out to do videos about Mitch. And then you do this false debunking when it's just so telling the truth is free. If you could just be here you go, it's going to lead people to ask questions, and it's probably the opposite thing is going to happen, where people are going to wonder if Mitch's memory was correct, and he did see Erica at Fort Huachuca on September 8th in the evening as Charlie Kirk was touching down from Tokyo into Los Angeles. So I'm just saying, this is a PR nightmare. This is just Turning Point. Ugh, man, not good, not good.
And let me make sure that I say this for the record. This live is not to say that the person, Nate, is not a good person. That's not an attack on who he is as a human being. It's not. This is a direct response to the way in which he went about handling this, because it just came off as extremely, if I can get my words together, extremely distasteful, right? It came off as if the number one goal wasn't to get to the truth, I
mean, I will literally disavow Candace Owens. Literally disavow Candace Owens. And we will become the most anti-Candace Owens podcast on YouTube overnight, if this is true. It'll get ugly. And I won't lose, by the way. I will go so goddamn scorched earth and expose everything you guys could not possibly fucking imagine, if this is true. I need to show me the GoFundMe.
So to be fair, because people will clip people out of context. To be fair to Nate, I believe, if I remember correctly, because I'm just respectfully, I'm not watching a 6 hour live. I'm not watching a 3.5 hour live. I'm just not doing it. I don't have the time to do it. But I believe he was specifically saying if it turns out that either the things about Mitch's past is true, and or if it's true that she's created a GoFundMe, which he mentioned there at the end of that clip. If these things are true, then he will disavow Candace or something to that effect. If I got that wrong, please correct me, but I believe that's what he was saying. The part that became distasteful is when you're saying things like, and I won't lose. Like, what is this about? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to figure out people's intentions here. What is this about? Is this about getting to the truth? Is this about Candace making you her security team member or no? You know, I'm not trying to go to war with no green beret. You remember, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would lose that. But the point that I'm making is, in this YouTube world, in this investigation, what is the number one goal? Figuring out what happened that day. I've been covering psyops and exposés and Freemasonry and all this type of stuff on my channel for years. So that's why I'm so invested in this. And people that want to question why I've been covering it so much, or why many of us are covering it so much, I can speak for myself. And I can say it was no different with the Diddy case. When P. Diddy came out and all these allegations came out, I literally have like maybe a 60 video playlist on this channel called No Diddy Playlist. I covered that a whole lot as well, right? Because if these things are what's trending and it's things to be exposed in the process, I'm a content creator, right? That's what I do. And I do want to, in fairness to him, I want to play the clip where he addressed people calling him gay or something to that effect. In fairness, because I want a man to be able to speak for himself. These are not allegations of myself. This is him responding to it.
Oh, that's because he likes it up the ass. Yeah. Oh, guys. Also, my wife doesn't think this is funny. Somebody posted a picture and did a YouTube video. It's got me standing next to my wife and her two best friends, who are gay, by the way. And they made a whole YouTube video on how my wife's a stripper and I'm a gay guy. So my wife was a oral surgery technician before she quit her job to work for the business. And yeah, I'm probably gay as shit, dude. I'm like Benny Johnson, boys. You can put video. You guys think that that's going to make me upset? If you like, it makes my wife upset because she wasn't a stripper. But if you call me a fag, or sorry, I shouldn't say fag. You call me a gay dude, like, guys, you're not going to. Yeah, sure, duh. I was a University of Oregon cheerleader. You think I haven't gotten the gay jokes, guys? It's fine, man. We have gay friends. It's not a big.
Yeah, so I wanted him to end this clip because I don't want to seem as if I'm misrepresenting something. He's addressed it, whatever. But my ultimate point is there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with the position from Candace, but I want to make sure that people understand there isn't a Candace Owens side and the other side. There's a pursuing truth side, and then there's a not pursuing truth side. That's the way I view this stuff. But when I look at a YouTuber drinking, hours upon hours on these YouTube lives, and you get to a point where you have countless super chats, and you're giving ultimatums to somebody who, on a surface level, appear to just be trying to figure out what happened to her friend. It's like we're getting away from the main point here, and it's almost coming off about personalities. You see what I'm saying? And that right there, I think, is humiliating yourself by definition, respectfully. Saying that Baron Coleman and what's the other guy's name, Coach Colin, attacked them, I wouldn't say that they attacked you. In fact, I would say that they went light on it. I would say I went a little bit harder than they did. But I think speaking in one sense, like saying I support something, while also publicly attacking that person, or maybe you all won't like the word attack, publicly giving this person an ultimatum when you know that they're on a holiday break, comes off a bit contradictory, almost like an oxymoron, right? And so Candace don't need anybody to speak up for her. She's her own person, her own adult, her own grown woman. She has a husband to defend her. I'm not here to defend Candace. I'm here to defend what we're supposed to be focused on in this investigation. which blows my mind. People will go to somebody as an expert on ballistics or shooting guns, or maybe they're an expert on Google searches like Baron Coleman, or they're an expert on other things, but then they'll stick around to get these people's opinion and not these people as a Baron Coleman. What I'm saying is, remember why you go to a person. I'm going to frame it that way. Remember why it is that you listen to a person, right? I'm not going to go to LeBron James to get advice on, car engines, right? My car engine is messing up. I want LeBron James to give me advice on that. So I just want to end this out by saying, just remember who you go to and why you go to them. And like I said at the very beginning, for those of you that may have missed it, beware of some of these newer content creators who have seemingly come out of nowhere since the Charlie Kirk incident, claiming to be experts that the algorithm is appearing to support despite their small channel size. Please pay close attention to the direction they may take many of you in, because there will be certain explanations to corruption that they will never mention or entertain, like the military. The military is not off limits. They're not off guard. It's not far-fetched to believe that corruption can happen in the military. It has happened before. Now, I want to state for the record before that's taken out of context, that is not in reference to any and all new content creators. But if the shoe fits, wear it. I just want people to be aware of this, just like how they're saying Mitch could be planted into Candace Owens' investigation to sort of discredit the entire investigation, which is definitely possible. Again, it just matters how you go about it. Using terms like electronic lynchings, it's going to land the wrong way. Mr. George, who was just on the podcast and had a great conversation with me just a few days ago. Right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Some of these people are good, so this is not in response to all of them. But yeah. All right, man. Let me get some of y'all comments, bro. Mickey, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been nearly certain that the Kirk situation is a complete hoax. The very first comment. It's the only thing which, to me, would explain everything. But what would be the purpose? Divide and distract from the AI infrastructure, bail out Stargate. I've addressed this on Patreon as well, and I've addressed it on YouTube several times. I think there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to potentially being a hoax. Again, I'm open to the idea that it wasn't, but I'm 50-50 with it, right? And just because I agree with a person like Candace Owens who says that she believes that this happened to Charlie, doesn't mean that I have to. I need to see more proof of it, all right? And I don't even think it could be done as necessarily to be a psyop on the people to affect us in a certain way. I think it could also just simply be done for selfish reasons for Charlie Kirk's safety, if you will. I think Charlie Kirk was in a very interesting position. I've spoken about it, right? And like I said before, I don't want to get into it too much here, but if you actually entertain that possibility, then when you look at Mickey, when you look at the amazing Mikey McCoy, when you look at the behavior of Erica Kirk, the pyrotechnics and all of that, it makes more sense. Why would you be grieving if you don't have anything to grieve for? Allegedly. Mary, thank you. Happy holidays. I appreciate it. Appreciate that, Jake. Mickey, thank you so much for the $50 super chat again. Didi, I want to buy one of your viewers a t-shirt from your merch store. Whoever you choose, keep the change, sir. Ah, man, that's dope. I'm gonna as a matter of fact, we can do that now here live. If you would like for Mickey with this $50 to buy you a t-shirt, actually, I'm gonna just go with the first comment I saw. Mamacita Toya, pick me. It's the very first comment that I saw. I don't know how we can confirm that it's you, but if you want to both comment under this video and email me. Email me, and then maybe I'll have you to comment on one of my videos under this same profile picture, so that way I know it's you. You see what I'm saying? But Mamacita, if you're seeing this, you have been selected. Mickey, thank you so much, and I'm sure I'm speaking for her when I say this. Thank you on behalf of her as well. Princess Renee, thank you so much for the follow. Didi, the merch you have, Didi, love the merch. You have a calling, you have an army behind you. I'm included praying over you in the channel. I appreciate that. As a reminder, I'm not the most important thing with this channel. Jesus Christ is. Thank you so much for the support. Absolutely. But Jesus Christ deserves all the credit. And I don't want that to ever get lost. All right. But I will say that this is my favorite hoodie, though. So, Mamacita, before I forget, you might want to consider a hoodie. It's not a bad choice, especially since he sent in $50. Officer Tatum's, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Christy. Officer Tatum's check to TPUSA equals, I saw that 33, it equals 33. And now people who may be turned out by this numerology, I don't cover it as much on this channel, but there is a lot of validity to the numerology, especially when you look at checks from Officer Tatum and these people, and they're super specific about their numbers. All I'm saying is I just encourage you all to think for yourself. You don't have to listen to me. Think for yourself as well, you know? I don't ever claim to be an expert on any of these things. I just claim to pay attention and have a lot of questions, you know what I mean? I want to be mindful of the time. I'm meeting with Brian, the auditor, in 30 minutes so we can prepare for the video tomorrow. For those of you that join late, Brian, the auditor, I will be dropping a video with him tomorrow. And I think you all want to be in tune for that one. It won't be a live. It will be a pre-recorded video, but I got you. So stay in tune for that one. Make sure the notification bells are hit. Please hit the like button on this video, please. Thank you. Actually, I don't think I got to do this. The check amount was so odd. Yes, I agree. I knew there had to be a reason. I missed that live, so couldn't tell you when I saw it. Absolutely. And what's funny is, Christy, after that live, I saw it. I looked at the number and I was like, that's a very interesting number. Not the number itself. I'm not claiming to look at the number and just knew something was up with it. I just questioned, why that number? Is it really truly the amount you made? You know? Diane Doyle, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I forgot that this microphone is so close, so I hope I haven't been super loud in the mic, you know. Didi, you have always been truthful. I love your show. I want to say Candace has always looked for truth, and people forget this was her friend, not all of these other podcasters. Everything you are saying is true. That's fair. And like I've said, I've always been open to the possibility of Candace Owens being a part of the PSYOP, Candace Owens being controlled opposition. But I give credit where it's due. And I've said to you all many times, Candace Owens have openly spoken about Freemasonry. They don't typically do that, y'all. They won't touch that topic. Candace Owens has openly talked about child SA and blackmailing rings. They typically don't talk about that stuff, y'all. She's done investigations into this stuff. You give credit where it's due. It doesn't mean I 100% trust her. I don't 100% trust any human ever. And I encourage you all to be the same way, including with me. You don't know me. You don't know who sent me. If somebody sent me, you know, always be skeptical. But just like we were saying about Mitch earlier, just because Mitch may be a bad person, have a bad history, or maybe not. I don't know if he's ever been convicted. Maybe he's been accused. But even if he has been, it doesn't mean that he can't witness a crime take place. It doesn't mean that he can't be a witness of anything, right? Same goes for Candace. Even if we were to find out that Candace Owens is controlled opposition, or even if we believe that Candace Owens is controlled opposition, guess what? Guess what? A controlled op can witness certain things. A controlled op can tell the truth about something, right? So I've asked you all this over the past 2 months, and I'll ask you this again. Yes, I've entertained the possibility of Candace Owens being controlled op, and I stand on that. But if Candace Owens says something that's true, should I not agree with it? Absolutely, I should. And I'm going to support truth. And as long as Candace Owens is saying things that are true, I support what she's saying. You follow me? Christina, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Didi, who cares about his past? Fair. But if he has a past lying and trolling on podcasts, Why should his eyewitness account be trusted? $140,000 shouldn't be raised for this man, period. I'm with you. I addressed the money part. I agree. Until we can confirm if his past is true or not, because that was the sole purpose of the money, he should not be receiving those funds. I agree with you. However, when you say if he has a past of lying about things, well, again, you can't forget this key part. Unless Candace is lying about this, he says that he has the metadata. I'm sorry. Candace says that when he sent the photos to her, she confirmed that the metadata shows that he was where he said he was. She just can't confirm that he saw what he said he saw. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So because if he has a history where it's proven that he's lied about things, we should be skeptical of him. But if it's not, if we haven't disproven what he said, that doesn't mean write off what he's saying. It means just hold out the possibility that he could be lying. What these people have been saying is, dead this story, don't entertain him, keep moving. I'm saying if you got photos and the metadata is showing that somebody was there, we shouldn't even entertain the story at all. That I disagree with. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Cody Moans, for the 200. It's ARS, so I don't know what that means, but thank you so much for the super chat. Didi, would you please give some background about this Mitch person? I'm off the hook about this. Thanks in advance. I've seen your MLK documentary and it's amazing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Keep pushing for the truth to come out. Hugs from Argentina. Thank you so much. Mitch's backstory. I'm not fully versed on it, but he has history in the military. And to be honest with you, based on what a lot of people have been saying, I don't know what's true and what's not. You know, so I want to be responsible here, because all I would be doing is repeating what he's told us, and that is now in question. You know, which I'm not saying the guys are saying. I'm going to say that for the gazillion time. I don't know, but I'm saying that just because a person has been proven to be a liar about certain things, don't mean that they can't now tell the truth. Doesn't mean that we should 100% disregard. That's all. You know. So, but yeah, he has a history in the military. My understanding that he's been married, I believe, at least twice. He's going through at least 2 or 3 lawsuits, one involving a woman ironically named Candace, one involving a lady by the name of Lainey, which I read about earlier. I read you all an article that spoke a little bit about that. Again, I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not about any of these moving parts in these characters. You know, but he does talk about his background on Candace's show. If you all would like to go and check that out. So yeah, there's that. Mickey, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Did you always seem to approach issues with a wide open mind, tempered with discernment and logic? I don't know how you became so wise at your age. I suspect maybe you have prayed for wisdom. I have prayed for wisdom. I am, but also I don't even mean this in a boastful way, but I just try to be humble, and I'm not right about anything. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm glad I had time to think about this, because I would have came in this super passionate. I think I showed a little bit of it in the beginning, but I just didn't like how Valhalla was giving Candace, or anybody else for that matter, this ultimatum. Like, who are you? Like, who put you in charge? Right? If you have something to expose that this man is a liar, why should Candace Owens, you know, continuing or discontinuing the GoFundMe or the Give Send Go matter? It shouldn't matter at all. Expose this dude. If he's a fraud, expose him. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't matter about what Candace does or not. Give us the truth. That's all. It just was distasteful, and I'm standing on that. Patriotic housewife. I think you're one of the people that people said I should check out, and I need to go and do that. I think I may have seen a video of yours. Thank you for your content, Didi. Really enjoy it. Thank you so much. Thank you for yours. If you who I think you are, and I think you are, thank you for your content. Heck yeah. $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Ivan. Erica Kirk could have gone to Candace directly. Bro. Yes. When these things come out, just debunk it. Send it to Candace and say, man, this person lied. Look, I was actually here. Here's proof. I was actually here. Don't really have the proof, but I promise you I was here. Maybe we can figure out how I can prove that later. They're not even interacting. And then the information that they're given and then they're trying to go through other channels and getting exposed in the process of trying to go through other channels. They haven't debunked it. That's the biggest red flag here. Great. You talk about Mitch's past. What about what he shared? That's all. That's all. Thank you so much for the follow super chat. Apologies for Webbs' words. He blocked me. I told you. To my understanding, he hasn't blocked me, but he's blocked Coach Carlin from both websites, from both channels, and he's blocked other people who's hopped in the comment section and shared it and showed screenshots. So yeah, that's interesting. Thank you, Courtney, for the $20 super chat. Bravo, Didi, your intro is spot on. Not accusatory, just facts and cautionary advice. Right. That's all. I pray to God that the Lord just continues to give me humility. I don't want to ever reach a point where I feel like I can make demands, where I can, I'm on some level where I can demand that people do what I say do or else. Nah, bro. Nah. Because I'd be full of myself. I'd be feeling myself too much, especially when the person that is in question here was friends with the person that, quote unquote, allegedly lost their life. It's a fact. U.S. military has, quote unquote, harmed citizens in the past, period. Not to discredit all vets. Absolutely. And we love vets. We love the military, the parts that actually serve. Right. Thank you, Didi, for your open-mindedness. And I will also say there is certain things that is kept secret from the public for our benefit, which I agree with, right? All things shouldn't be exposed, but we're talking about actual corruption. And if you want me to believe that because you're a part of the military that you can't be involved, stop it. Respectfully, stop it. Shout out to all the new members as well. I won't celebrate Christmas either. Yeah. It's no knock to the people that do it. I have a video on this channel that talks about the open secret about Christmas. In short, I do believe that it's pagan. The way in which that we celebrate it. Yes, for those of you that are newer to the channel, I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I do not believe that Jesus Christ is simply a prophet. I believe that Jesus Christ was and is God in human flesh, in human form. So I'm a follower of Christ, which, by the way, reminds me, I want to show you all something. This is for those of you that are wondering, this is the cross. Pick up your cross. I got like 5 to 7 more designs coming, but this is the Expose Evil, Ephesians 5:11. It's also a hoodie. Heck yeah. Anyways, that was related to what I was talking about, so I wanted to just say that came in as well. Yeah. I'm a follower of Christ, but there are many things about Christmas that has become corporatized, if you will. It's become, mainstream, and it's just become distasteful. I know a lot of poor people. I used to be homeless, and I got a documentary that I'll drop in the next year or two about some things that I've experienced and other people that I know have experienced, and to inspire people. But I'm sharing that to say, I know people that are poor in real life, that have dealt with homelessness multiple times in real life. I'm sharing that to say people that don't have it around Christmas time and they feel like a failure of a parent, they feel like a failure even as a kid when you're not able to get as many presents, when you're not able to give your children presents, and that's not okay because that's not what Christmas is about. But people are forced to compete with each other. They're forced to do something that involves spending money. And people can say, well, that's not what it's about. And this, that's what they've made it about, though. I'm not a fan of what they've created Christmas to be about. That's all, but I digress. Shout out to Angela for the $5 super chat. You are the bomb, Didi. Thank you for showing the other side of the story. Thank you. And again, I don't know if the other side of the story is true or not, but you got to hold out. Short story, and I'll be done with this. I know a guy in the last year and a half, true story, who went out with this girl. I went with him. Long story short, his girlfriend drank too much that night. He drops her off at home. He and I continue to go out. I love to play pool. I love pool. It's one of my favorite sports next to basketball. Long story short, he takes her home. We go out, play some pool. Not the same night, not the next morning, the very next night, his girlfriend texts his phone. She's left, went somewhere else. Tells him that the state is going to be pressing felony and misdemeanor charges against him. True story. True story. He's like, what are you talking about? He panicking. What are you talking about? I didn't do anything to you. That's what he's telling her. She's went to the police station and told the police that he hit her, that he beat on her. I was with them. He did nothing. Have any of you all ever seen A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, starring Martin Lawrence? If not, you should check that film out. He met a woman that was extremely attractive, and it's a running joke, especially amongst men, that the most attractive women are typically the craziest ones. And it was this woman who was extremely attractive in the film. Every man was telling them, leave her alone. Leave her alone. You'll probably enjoy being with her physically, if you catch my drift. But you probably won't enjoy any other facet of being with her. He didn't listen. He got with the woman. The woman drove him crazy, ruined his life, went to the police, and falsely claimed domestic violence. The man was almost convicted in the film for domestic violence. She beat herself up. We're the white people watching the movie. We watched herself beat herself up with a shoe. She did that. So all I'm saying is people lie, bro. And we know that people lie. So get on and just openly saying that I stand with women. And bro, we all do. But women lie. So that's why the facts need to be presented. That's all. And it's very possible that he actually beat on women. And if so, he's as many of you all would say, a scumbag, a douchebag. He's a bad person for that, right? And I don't support it. But again, deal with the substance of what he's saying. Thank you so much for the follow-up super chat. He knew exactly what he was doing by using the term lynching. Passive-aggressive gaslighting. So, yeah, bro. And saying that to a black woman is just also extra distasteful to me, because it's like, dude, what are you doing? You was just on my podcast, brother. You using that word is distasteful, but I'm gonna get off of that. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Christina. Have you considered the theory of the shape charge presented by John Bray on Trigger Smart? The shape charge? I think it was the pendant given by Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk is at the head of the whole thing. In my opinion, we need justice for Charlie. Shape charge? No, there was a lot of theories early on that came out about it, but I haven't seen all of it. I haven't entertained all of it, rather, and I haven't heard sort of the people get into the specificities of it. I've heard the overarching theory, but I haven't heard anyone get into the granularities and explain what they think may have happened, you know? So, Mickey, thank you so much for the follow super chat. I think it's possible that if not for the Kirk powwowing, millions would be in the streets protesting against U.S. support for, that's yeah. I agree. Very possible. And don't hold out the possibility that they may still happen. I think the Gaza situation was planned long ago, and so was the Kirk situation. I agree as well. I agree, especially with the Gaza situation, because as we've covered on this channel, Albert Pike, again, if you're new to the channel, please go and check out. Just go on if you're on a desktop, go to my channel, type in Donald Trump, Albert Pike, Freemasonry. Check out that video, and we've covered some things, and this was prior to the Charlie Kirk incident. Listen to what he said and some things that he allegedly said, things that he allegedly said about the future and wars. And it makes this right here, this comment right here, that much more interesting. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He is saying if he goes off script, he gets attacked. And if going off script is agreeing with the Fed narrative. Right. Exactly. That's not going off script, bro, at all. Crazy. It's like, what is this? Some type of psyop? Nate always has EPO stolen Villar. I wish I knew what that meant. I think that went over my head. Ganache journey. So I need somebody to help me understand what that means. Metadata can be altered. Hello. I actually need to look into that. Is that true? Can it truly be altered? Can it be altered from the original source? So whether it be a picture or video, can someone alter the metadata on that original source, or can they make a copy of it, if you will, and then, maybe alter that? Thank you. All right, y'all. I gotta go here pretty soon. I'm sorry. I wanted to get to all the super chats. Let me try to get to some of them. I don't trust anyone. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I don't trust anyone who served in the military and is still proud and holding on to it. Ending lives, innocent women and children on the behalf of don't make you a hero. It makes you ooh. That's a strong ooh. I didn't say that. I don't feel that way about all military members, but I will say this. I understand your frustration. I understand exactly where you're coming from. But I do want to say that I do believe the military is necessary, very necessary. I also think that a lot of it is a scam, because when our veterans come back and they have PTSD, and a lot of that stuff is irreversible. And a lot of these wars are built off lies. So you got people fighting for something that's not truly what they're told it's about. And then they have to deal with PTSD, and our veterans are treated like crap. And it's a trash system. And I guarantee you that Nate won't disagree with that one. At the deepest level, it's post-Roman Vatican Luciferian power versus Khazarian, Zionist satanic power. Whoever wins the reset will usher the new world. I like you. This is on the level of what I typically talk about on this channel. I'm with you. I agree. Definitely with you. Is it Stephen Bloom? Stephen Bloom, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Didi, love your content. I served and deployed 3 times. Thank you for your service. Nate does not speak for me or all veterans. Many vets know Mitch's story is possible. Character attacks aren't evidence. That's ad hominem. That's ad hominem. But also, that reminded me of something. Someone, I meant to screenshot it and share it, and I forgot because I had so much stuff to share in this live. Someone made a great point. They said, just because you've been a part of the military don't mean you're an expert in every facet of the military, right? Green Berets, I love your service. Thank you so much for your service, including Nate, absolutely. But that doesn't make you an expert in every field or in every facet of ballistics, et cetera, right? And I've seen a lot of military and ex-military coming out and stating that for us regular folk who don't have experience or history in the military. They wanted us to know that just because you're military don't make you a professional and expert in every category. And I appreciated that. Now, I always want to read a few comments that aren't super chat so that I can be fair here. I do got to go because I got to meet with this man in just a few minutes. Yes, I said that on Jesse's page. Oh, it's the same person. That's funny. Yeah, I agree, though. I agree. I've started from the beginning of this live. And I've started from doing it live, and your opening is on point. Thank you. I appreciate that. Is an Army Ranger considered special forces? I don't know. Can somebody in here that's military confirm that for us? Is an Army Ranger considered special forces? Military is super compartmentalized. I would imagine. At least that's the way I picture it. Mitch did not say that he's an expert on all things military. I agree. I wasn't referring to Mitch in particular. I was referring to anybody who is placing themselves out here to cover this Charlie Kirk incident that has history in the military. They know more than I do, but it don't mean that they know everything, and that's what military and ex-military members have been telling me. Mitch has tried to scam and make money from several podcasts in the past. And I've seen people say that. And if that's true, then expose him for that. And that means we need to tread lightly. And that's why I said I agree with Nate about the money part of it. Money shouldn't be raised for this person until we can confirm or deny if the things that he said about his past are true or not. Is he actually out here scamming people? And if so, We need to do something about that. You know? So I'm totally in agreement in that regard. But talking about a person's past and completely disregarding the substance of what they said about a specific incident is dismissive, and I don't agree with it. It's too dismissive. Okay, I'm gonna read one more comment, y'all, and I gotta go. Great show. I'm gonna read one last super chat and then one last regular comment. Great show. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Great show. No quote unquote case closed ideas, just pragmatic comments on a subject. Plus, citing Lionel Nation shows you're well informed. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I need to go and subscribe to him. A lot of you all have recommended him. What's everybody talking about in here? I'm new to this and only my first day. Shoot. If you want to learn where to start on this channel, that's non-Charlie Kirk related, I would recommend start with the Martin Luther King documentary or the Clive Davis documentary or the Michael Jackson documentary. If it's Charlie Kirk related, start with the video titled, "Was Charlie Kirk Ritualistically Sacrificed?" That is either the first or I think the second video I dropped when everything first happened. So like maybe a day or two afterwards. So that's a question, but let me be fair. Okay, it says specialist is a rank. Special forces is a job. A ranger is a job. Hope that clears it up. Thank you so much for that. Hope that answers the question. All right, y'all, I got to go. Love y'all, man. I'm going to get up out of here. I got to meet with Brian in 6 minutes, and I got to go to the bathroom. So I just wanted to say that. Appreciate you all support. Hope I was able to answer all questions for the most part. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.
Attitudes and our work ethic become very important in realizing our goals and opening up possibilities. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a recent graduate at UCA. And his story is really fascinating. It's one of overcoming homelessness during his time pursuing his degree, first at a community college here in Arkansas, and then finishing his bachelor's degree here at UCA. His narrative ranges from estrangement from family for many years to a hopeful reunion with mother and siblings. His record is one of overcoming odds in a way that I probably could not, and certainly demonstrating levels of tenacity and patience and optimism that I can only marvel at. He wanted to talk with me about his new job and his career path going forward. I really need to be there to learn from him because that's where the real value was.
Everything I say in this video is alleged. Allegedly. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Y'all can just repeat after me. I really appreciate it. Alright. No such thing. Come on, we can do better than that. Talk to me. Alright, let's start it over. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. You're worse than the rich white people or the rich white Jews that own these record labels because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you?
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.